Together with American songwriter, we had the opportunity to talk to Justin and Anthony from Sleeptalk.
Adam was able to talk to Justin and Anthony over Zoom audio. Justin and Anthony told us how they got into music, opening for 21 Pilots, and having their music featured on various MTV shows. Check out Sleeptalk's new song, 100 Times.
And make sure to check out our YouTube channel and Facebook page at Bringing It Backwards, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Bringing Back Pod.
We'd appreciate your support if you follow and subscribe to our podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts.
We're Bringing It Backwards with Justin and Anthony from Sleeptalk. Hello.
Hi there.
Hey, who's this? This is Adam.
Hey, Adam, this is Justin.
Hey, Justin, what's going on?
Hey, Adam, this is Anthony.
Hey, Anthony.
How's it
How
going,
are you
man?
guys?
Doing all right. What about yourself?
Doing well, doing well. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
excited
of
to be here.
course. Yeah, thank you for having us.
Of course. Yeah, so our podcast is all about your guys' journey in music and how you got to where you are today.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Are you together right now or separate places?
Separate.
We're in separate places.
Oh, okay, right on. Where are you from?
I'm Anthony, and I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Okay, what about you, Justin?
Yeah, I'm
You from
Just like 50 miles north of LA in Palmdale.
Oh, okay. So both from California, Southern California?
Yeah.
Right on. And Justin, how did you get into music originally?
Geez. Actually, so Anthony's my older cousin, and he was always in bands and listening to like Blink-182 and going to shows. So I initially got interested in it that way and just started picking up a guitar, and I've been playing since I was like 12.
Wow. Okay. What about you, Anthony? How did you get into music?
So another similar kind of story. So my brother Jason, which is Justin's cousin, obviously, he's also in the band, and he got me, like, I grew up listening to Blink and Green Day and Newfound Glory because that's what he listened to, you know. And you know, I always wanted to be Tom DeLonge my whole entire life.
Sure.
So yeah, so I started playing guitar at like 13 or 14. And then, I quit. I had played baseball for my whole life, and then I quit playing baseball to pursue music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Was that like in high school or out of high school?
In high school. I quit my senior year of high school, and like I went to one of like the top high school baseball schools in the whole nation.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of, I was like, you know what, screw this. I want to play music. And yeah, so that's kind of how it happened. Good old Blink.
Wow. Good old Blink. That's awesome because I'm in San Diego and I grew up in the town right next to where the Blink dudes all grew up. And I
awesome.
Yeah, I always think it's rad to hear. I've told the story a handful of times on the podcast where, but the sombreros that they sing about in the song is the one that's close to like where I grew up, and like in the bathroom there, the people wrote all these like love letters to Blink and stuff. And,
oh, that's so funny.
So they wrote like, so the whole bathroom was like tagged up in this like I love Blink, like Travis, blah blah blah, all this stuff, right? And what they did was they ended up expanding this Mexican restaurant, and they moved the bathroom into a different place, but they saved a lot of the tiles, and they moved like the door, and they like totally embraced the Blink thing. So if you go there now, the bathroom's in a different location, but you can still see all the like love notes in there to Blink, and like it's pretty funny.
That's so rad. Yeah, I've been to San Diego so many times, and we actually just played in San Diego back in January.
Oh, really? Where'd you guys play at?
We played for this thing called Through Being something.
Oh, Through
It was like
Being Cool?
a emo. Yeah, it was like
Through
the
Being
emo
Cool.
night thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was awesome. I can't remember the name of the spot. It was like some little bar. But it was really cool.
Blonde.
It was,
I think it's called Blonde.
Yeah, Blonde Bar. Yeah, it was awesome. It was fucking packed. And Yeah, dude. And we played Soma, which is obviously where Blink, got their start. So that was cool. Yeah, I'm actually going to San Diego next Monday.
Oh, cool. What are you coming down here for? It's fun.
Well,
Business.
I have a lot of homies that live down there, and the Dodgers are playing at Petco on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we're gonna go and like kind of catch the games from like the side and stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a perfect stadium to do that too, because you can kind of see in already from the outside. Yeah, that's cool. That'll be good.
Yeah, one of my best friends I grew up with, he always just goes and grabs this Mexican joint and then just sits out in the outfield pretty much and just watches all the games. He's a big Dodger fan too, but he just goes out because he loves baseball. So, yeah, it should be fun.
That's awesome. That'll be a lot of fun. Too bad you can't actually go into the stadium to watch the game.
I know.
Hopefully soon enough.
Is like one of my favorite. Petco's like one of my favorite parks. It's so nice.
It's cool. Yeah, they did a great job with that stadium. I will say that for sure.
Yeah,
it definitely beats Jack Murphy or Qualcomm or whatever it is. I think it's
Qualcomm.
I think now it's actually called the San Diego County Credit Union Stadium or something.
Oh,
like
no.
that.
Yeah, I think they're like having like some college sports or something over there now.
Yeah, they're doing like SDSU football and stuff. I think it will be there. But yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, so back to you guys. So you both started guitar around 12, early 12 to 14. And Justin, how about you? Were you in bands and stuff in high school?
Yeah. Going into 9th grade, I was kind of getting into like heavier music at the time. It was like when like Day to Remember first came out with their album, For Those Who Have Heart. That's what it's called.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I was pretty into that, learning like, just like chugging and all that stuff. So I got into a hardcore band in high school. Did that for about 2 or 3 years, like learned how to record, just kind of like experience, going to shows, the whole like kind of playing live and kind of getting my feet wet in the music industry sort of thing. And then around when I was in senior year, I think Anthony was coming out of his band at the time, and he asked me if I wanted to play guitar for them. And I was like, yeah, man, like, I'm kind of not doing much right now. And that makes sense. So that's basically how Sleeptalk started. So yeah, I've only been in the one band before this, and then Sleeptalk's my second band.
Okay. And Anthony, is this the first band you had started?
No, so I've been in quite a few bands. I started off in like a Blink cover band, actually, way back in the day.
what
and
Blink
that was like
songs did you cover? What catalog of Blink? I'm just curious.
We did a kind of like a lot of everything. Like we covered What's My Age Again, obviously.
Okay.
That, like all the small things. Then we would do stuff like Rock Show, and we'd do Damn It every now and then, just like more of like the mainstream stuff.
Sure.
And
That's
then
cool.
we played some stuff off of Self-Titled. I think we played like Miss You and all that crap.
Yeah, the hits.
But, yeah. We didn't really ever play shows. We just like kind of jammed and stuff. And I was actually playing bass back then.
Oh, okay.
And then I started a hardcore band when I just got out, or maybe my senior year of high school. And then did that for like 2 years. And then I started singing for like a screamo style band. I wasn't screaming, of course, but we started doing that. It was more like Sleeping with Sirens, Circa-esque kind of stuff. I was like super into singing high like that. And then I started Sleeptalk with our bass player, Paul, which was in the band previous. It was called Like Giants. And I started Sleeptalk, I think, late 2014. And like we kind of like jammed a little bit, did whatever. It was never anything set in stone until about like January 2015. So that was when we got Justin in, and we asked my brother to join. And then the original drummer at the time, that was when they all joined.
Okay. So like 2015-ish is when the band started?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
we're in year 5.
So okay, so the band's going. You get the band going, and then what was the first thing you guys did? Like, were you playing shows? Did you record a demo?
So we actually, so we kind of did it like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the band, the 1975. I'm sure you are.
I am. Yeah, I'm very familiar.
Yeah. So we kind of took like that whole ordeal and did like, we wrote, what was it, Justin? We wrote like 5 or 6 songs that we were planning on using as singles for EPs, and then we wrote the EPs around those songs. So we wrote our first EP, which was called Pure. Mm-hmm. And we did that like early 2015, and then about like March or April, we played our first show, and that was, I think, the release date of that EP. And then we kind of just played around locally for a while. And then about 6 months later, we released the second one, which was called Young. We were able to get picked up by a management company called Artery Management. They're based in Sacramento. And we were on Artery, and they actually hooked us up with opening for 21 Pilots at Ace of Spades down in Sacramento.
Wow.
And that was, yeah, dude, it was like our second show we ever played. It was fucking rad. It was very crazy.
Yeah.
That was our second show we ever played. It was like sold out. So like what, Justin, was it like 2,000 people or something like that?
Yeah, I think the venue capacity was at like, I think it was like 1,500 or 1,200 or something, and they like stuffed in a couple extra hundred after.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was.
Yeah,
it was absolutely
the funniest
nuts.
thing from that show was we rented one of those Sprinters, and we drove past the venue early the night before, so it was probably like 2 in the morning. And
let me mind you, yeah. Sorry, Justin. Let me mind you, it was in December, and it was snowing. So go back to your story, Justin.
Freezing,
Okay.
yeah. And people camped out, and they're like have some pretty hardcore fans. And we, I think whoever was in the passenger seat had a beanie on, and
it was
basically they like saw the van and they looked over and they like all started waking up. They thought we were the like 21 Pilots like rolling through, just like shooting the flying, and we were just like, no, it's not who you think it is. And we just drove away.
You're like, but we'll be playing.
I was wearing a red beanie.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, it was unintentional that I was wearing a red beanie, but it was very fitting.
That's funny.
It was
that's
pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, that's crazy that you guys got a management that hooked you up with that so early, so quickly. I mean, you said that was your second show.
Yeah,
dude,
it was
pretty early on.
Yeah, and that was based off the EP.
Yeah, that was based. So we had like, as I was saying before, we wrote 3 EPs. It was called Pure Young Love, and we kind of already had like almost a full-length record already ready to go. So they heard a couple songs, because I think our first single, Sea of Fire, was premiered by like Absolute Punk and Alternative Press and all that stuff. So we got like a lot of traction. Yeah, we got a lot of traction right up front, and that's when they found us. I think through Alternative Press, if I'm not mistaken. And we went down there. The day that we played that show, we actually signed the management contract. And they're like, yeah, we know all these people from, all these record labels, blah, blah, blah. They're interested in you guys. So we play that show. And then I think what was it, Justin? Our first headline at Troubadour. Was that 2016?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So we had all these, I think it was like March or April of 2016, we headlined the Troubadour, and we had all these labels come out, and we sold it out. It was fucking gnarly. And And the label's like, yeah, we really like them. They're just very new to the game, you know, so we want to see some growth. And then coming from that point, Artery had a record label, which was called Artery Recordings, and they actually signed us to the record label. So we never put out that third EP because we used, I think, all of those songs to go on the actual record. So yeah, like right off the jump, we got management right away, and we got signed to a label right away.
Wow.
Which was really cool.
And
yeah.
so that's the self-titled EP that came out in 2017. That's that all of those songs were supposed to be on 3 separate EPs, but you just did a full length.
Yeah. So we released Pure and Young, and then we took 3 or 4 of the songs from those 2 records, and we actually put it on the full length that we did.
Oh, okay.
Which was the self-titled. Yeah, and then all of the songs that were supposed to go on Love went onto the record because we never released it.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you put that record out with the label and everything, did they put you on a tour to support it and all that, or what was next? What happened?
Yeah.
Next?
So
do we want to go into that, Justin?
Yeah, we'll go into it.
I was gonna say, I don't want to get you guys in trouble.
Fuck yeah, we're going into it. So basically, as Anthony mentioned, we were on Artery Management, and then they signed us to their record label. We just weren't getting enough bites from the other major labels, so they're like, hey, we'll put you on here. We'll do the album. You know, we'll put you guys on tour with a lot of our artists that are already like pretty big, and you guys can open up, support them on a tour. Kind of like, you know, put that story in our head, and we're like, all right, cool, that makes sense. You know, hop on a support tour, get out in front of more people, and grow. So the album comes out, and they actually, no, the album didn't even come out yet, huh, Anthony? In March, they sent us on tour.
Yeah.
Most of the tour was booked by Anthony and him like reaching out and stuff. They set us up with one of their other new bands, The Color Wild, and basically we went on this tour in March, and it was just like, Anthony had like contacted these people, but Artery basically like set up the supporting bands and like all this other stuff. And the whole tour was just basically like a dud. Like there was no one at the shows. Like there was people, don't get me wrong, but like it wasn't necessarily like, you know, I don't want to say like
the
not
greatest
thing. Kind of like,
right.
Whoa, at a community center in New Mexico, Roswell, New Mexico, to like 30 people. You know, it was more exciting to like meet aliens and stuff than play the show. But yeah, so
we got to go to South by Southwest, so that was cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah, it's South by there. That was fun. It was a great time for us as a band. You know, being, you know, good friends and all that, and going out and experiencing the road together, and you know, the ups and the downs of it all. But as far as the support from Artery as the label, it wasn't too apparent. And so basically, I think 3 months later, or the album comes out in July, and after that, like a month later, they're like, hey.
No, we went on another tour.
Warner.
We went on another tour before that, and that tour was actually was really sick. I set that tour up too, and we went out with a band called DBMK from Florida. We met them out in like Kansas City or something like that, and then we went all up to Kansas City, St. Louis. We played Denver. We played a lot of places, and that tour was actually really rad.
But that was all Anthem internally, you know.
Yeah.
Basically, like Artery was supposed to set us on a support tour because the album had just came out, and they were basically kind of like, yeah, like go on your own headline tour, even though you haven't been to any of these places that much. And it worked out because Anthony, you know, killed it booking the shows, and he booked all the supporting bands this time around. He said, it was a tour. But then after that, basically Artery sold the label to Warner, and basically just kind of like left us on our own to like figure out, you know, apparently we had like owed them some money and stuff like that, and now our debt with Warner, and basically we haven't seen a dime from our record because Artery just basically
Screwed us.
Yeah, they screwed us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we love the record. We're super pumped on it, but you know, it's got almost 1 million streams, and we haven't seen like a cent from it, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
It's not about the money.
Right, but
No,
still, it's like you
definitely.
put the work into it. I mean, you deserve to get something from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a good learning experience for us, though. I think, you know, as a whole, because we kind of we weeded out our first drummer at the time, and you know, it turns out that he wasn't the fit for the band. So like, that was like a positive outcome out of it. You know, another positive outcome was we kind of learned how to do a lot of stuff on our own, as far as, you know,
Everything.
booking shows and promoting and, you know, building our social networks and having to upload everything to Spotify and reach out to people, you know, and it sucked at the time, but it also just like really motivated all of us. I think we got the drummer that fits our band. So that was great. And then we also, you know, it was a big learning experience. We just grew from it. We know what we want now and what we don't want. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. And are you still with them or no?
No. So we haven't been, basically we've been independent since a year after the album came out. So 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because that was our
July 28th,
year with us
2018.
for a year. Yep. So basically that's when we released 2 singles, I Hope You're Doing Well and Apart From You. And those ones were sort of like our transition songs to recording all the stuff ourselves. We were still working with our producer who did the album. His name's Bob Curtin, and he helped us get I Hope You're Doing Well out. And then Apart From You, I think I mixed most of it, and then we sent it out to get mastered. Or maybe we sent it out to get additional mixing and mastered. And then Desert Days, during all that time, you know, like Anthony said, we're learning how to do everything ourselves. You know, I stepped it up a little more in the recording and producing realm of our music, and we came out with Desert Days, which was completely independent. You know, we tracked outside of, like we tracked drums at places and stuff like that. Anthony recorded vocals other places, but the end product was, you know, all from us, aside from getting it mastered. So the production, the writing, all that stuff was just all us. So we're definitely more on that process of just doing everything in-house. You know, Anthony does all the artwork, all of our like aesthetic, and we have our connections years to, you know, we have our we have close connections with Brandon Wolford. He does a lot of our videos. So yeah, man, we just feel like we have our team pretty locked in right now, and you know, obviously label support and stuff like that makes sense, but right now we got a pretty good process going.
Yeah, and you guys you just released what, 2 more songs recently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are all start to finish in-house.
Wow. So Trouble and 100 Times are both, you did those all in-house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, tell me about that process. Where are you guys recording it? Just in your house?
Yeah. So we have our own studio that we built as in order to like have a spot for us to kind of just gather through all this. So our bass player Paul, he has a separate attached garage. So we basically converted that into like a full-blown studio. We put in the floors, the drywall,
insulation, everything.
Wow.
And basically go in there. We have like our studio set up, and we would track, we would write, and everything's pretty portable. You know, I'll bring my laptop down because I live in Palmdale, and I'll drive down and we'll track, write. I'll go up to my house. Maybe I'll sit, work on it a little bit, bring it back down. We'll work on it some more. Get it good enough for Anthony to go and record vocals with Bob. He'll schedule in a date, get those tracks back, mix them, go through some production, get the final mix good, master it, and then upload it.
Wow. And I'm sure that cuts out, like cutting out the whole studio and all that stuff. I'm sure saves like so much time and a lot of money. And do you guys enjoy having like 100% creative control over everything?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, yeah. I freaking hours and hours just mixing stuff, and a lot of it's a learning process for me too, and experimenting. And I think that allows our sound to be so unique, though, is not being constrained by maybe a particular producer or having a time frame and stuff like that. So our sound is, and even the songs that we haven't released yet, we're really pumped to get those out because they're so just genuine of our creativity and our sound that we've worked really hard on for years.
Yeah. And are you guys going to put together like a full EP? Is that what these songs are eventually going to be, or is it just singles for now?
So we actually wrote like Justin, like 10 or 11 songs. And we completed most of them literally right the week before quarantine happened. And yeah, it was pretty wild. Like I think I finished vocals on Justin, 5 of the songs, about 5 of them.
Yeah. 4 or 5. Yeah.
Like the weekend before we got shut down.
Oh my God.
And yeah, we got lucky, and, we were planning on just releasing like 7 or 8 singles this year. And then obviously like everything that's happened, we still have released singles obviously, but we're not releasing all of them. So we have 2 more songs for the entire year, which is going to eventually turn into one project. So it will be an EP once the final song is released. And they are all connected to each other. It's an electronic project, actually, besides 100 Times. Most of the songs we wrote because we wanted to do a full electronic EP.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's cool. Like, we all still do everything for it. Like, there's guitars and bass and everything, but most of the drums are all sampled drums. And that Tyler did and Justin did. And, yeah, they're cool. So what we're doing is those are all going to be connected at the end of the year. And then we have, like, 4 or 5 more that we're planning on releasing in the new year.
Okay. And then I'm sure, what about now? Because you have access to a studio and you guys and everyone's been locked inside for 6 months. Do you have even more songs you're ready to put out? Or did you guys kind of take a break from writing during the quarantine?
So we kind of took a break for a little bit. Cause at first we were all like, we're still pretty worried, but like at first, it's kind of scary. Like, we all thought the world was going to end. I thought it was going to be zombies
totally.
and shit.
Yeah.
So we took about like a month and a half off. And then within that month, we decided that we were going to release Trouble. And then that happened. We released Trouble. We didn't get together like once, I don't think, actually. I think we did one time to take photos. And once we did that, we were all sketched out. We were like, shit, we really shouldn't be seeing anyone. It's kind of sketch. So we took about a month off after we did that. And we got everything ready for Trouble. I did all the artwork. Justin finished mixing and mastering it. We uploaded everything. We got all of the promotion side of it done. And then we were doing like a bunch of like Instagram live stuff and staying connected that way. But then I think we got hit up by this band called Moon Tower. And like, we were supposed to go on tour with them for like a couple weeks in April, or late April, early May. And obviously it didn't happen. So they put together like a virtual show, a virtual tour that they did like 4 or 5 nights, and we were on one of them. So we met up back in late May to record them, or to like shoot the whole thing. And then So we shot that and then a music video. And after we were done doing that, like literally an hour after, we blew all the electrical in our studio.
Oh my gosh.
Spark
Yeah,
coming out
dude.
of the wall.
Yeah, it was super unfortunate. So we kind of like got set back at that. But over the last couple of weeks, we've been meeting up and, you know, we've been writing some music. We've been recording some live stuff. But yeah, I mean, kind of all of us have put together a few ideas that we're going to start running with. And then I think we had wrote like 2 other songs also right before quarantine that we never recorded. So there's still a lot of stuff in the works. And now that everything's kind of like letting up a little bit, we're starting to meet up more. So there will be a lot of music written over the next like 3 to 4 months. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. And like you were talking about getting together and doing this, like the music video. How did you guys do that? Was that shot? You said it was shot during quarantine.
Yeah. So we took, it was literally just the band and then our good friend, Brandon Wolford. It was just us. We wore masks like up until we recorded or like up until we were shooting. So it's kind of weird, you know, like hanging out, like not hugging each other.
Right.
Like being how boys are with each other, you know?
Yeah. You're just standing like 6 feet away from each other. Like, hey.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, you know, everyone's all cautious of whose beer is who, you know, but, you know, for the most part, all of us have pretty much just stayed at home. Like, we don't really go anywhere besides to like the market and stuff, you know? So it was kind of weird, but we all trust each other, you know? So that was good. The music video turned out fucking rad. And then we actually shot a music video for 100 Times like 2 or 3 weeks ago, right before the song came out.
Is that the one where you guys are inside the room? Like you're like in like a room with the big windows and the brick wall?
Yeah. That's at our buddy's studio where we record all the vocals.
Oh,
so then
wow,
at
that's
that
a beautiful
point,
room.
Yeah, it's a sick loft in downtown. So yeah, we did that, and like I said, it was just us, Brandon, and then the guy that owns the loft. So it's been kind of weird, you know, because normally we like to have a lot of people around that take behind the scenes stuff and X, Y, Z, but we obviously weren't able to this time around, which is okay. But yeah, man, it's been a pretty weird process throughout quarantine. Me and Justin just like talk on the phone a lot now, and I don't really like it. But well, it's either that or FaceTime, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to FaceTime with you right now, bro. But you know, we're making everything possible that we can with the technology that we have, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And with the new record and new songs, you said they're like pretty electronic based. Like, was it hard doing the live stream, or how did you guys do it? Or just play older songs that weren't as, you know?
Yeah, so
that one we basically we planned to play it live with like electronic instruments, and we just weren't feeling it. We rehearsed it a couple times, and so then we were like, you know, like, why don't we just play it live, like, you know, live drums, guitar, all that. And so the live stream that we did was actually like our first time playing it as like a band with like Tyler on live drums and all that. And I actually like it better. It's like a cool live version instead of like the keyboard being a lead, it's the guitar. So in that aspect, we basically just transferred it to live. But these other ones that are going to come out later this year, I'm curious to see how we're going to play them live. The next one we're going to do, it's called Reason to Stay. And it's going to be probably the most like left song we've done, like as far as like the spectrum of like our sound, you know, like I consider like the far right being very band live music and that stuff, and the left being very electronic and experimental and such. So this next one is very, very far left than anything we've done. And then the next one kind of more in the middle, and then next year all of our songs like live band and all that will be out.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can think of going to like, have you ever seen John Wick?
The show?
The movie John
Or
Wick?
the movie John Wick. Yeah, I have.
Okay, so do you remember the scene? I think it's at the end of the movie when he kills like 100 people. There's like that super dirty electronic, like underground house music in it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So that's kind of what it's like.
Okay.
I think that's the most clean thing I can tell you.
Okay.
Like the cleanest
I got a little
way I
nervous
can
there in the
describe
description.
it. Yeah,
Well,
no, I think that's like
Oh God,
the cleanest way that I could say it.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I'm intrigued to hear it. And how about going live on Instagram and doing these live streams? Do you guys enjoy doing them, or is it terrifying? What do you think?
We have like really, really cool fans, some of which have been with us since we played that 21 Pilot show. And it's really cool to have people like that supporting your music, and, you know, they basically become your friends. And so we love doing it. I know me and Anthony hop on there all the time, and it's cool. They ask questions, and it's just cool to know that someone's watching.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, you know, like, you know, when I was growing up in the music, like going to shows and doing this and that, you know, whatever, and trying to meet all my favorite artists. Like, I mean, I've met like Mark. I've never met Tom, which I'm super bummed about, but I met Mark and Travis, you know, a bunch of times, and like they were always the coolest dudes, you know. And I've also met guys in like mainly in the hardcore scene that were just complete assholes, you know. And that was one thing I always told myself, like, yo, if you ever make it, that is not how you will be. And so I try to keep like a good connection with all of our fans, and, you know, make it more of like a friendship to as many of them as I can, you know. Like I actually just had one of our fans text me a little while ago to see how I was doing, you know. Like, I normally don't give out my number, but sometimes it finds its way out.
Right.
But, you know, like that's how it is, you know. And I love that. And that's why I love doing the Instagram lives. You know, me and Justin just sit there and we just bullshit and make, you know, like sometimes we'll do some serious stuff, but like, you know, a lot of the times it's us just making fun of each other and, you know, and just talking and hanging out with people and answering questions. And, you know, we did, it was the 1 year for our last EP, Desert Days, back on July 31st. And like, we did a live stream of that, and we sat there and we told everybody what every song was about. And, you know, they were asking like, you know, what was the hardest song or blah, blah, blah. Like, I like informing our fans about that, because I know that was something that I loved to hear and to see growing up, you know. So we like to keep it very family oriented, and yeah, it was, it's cool to do it.
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. And thank you guys so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Dude, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, this has been great. I actually have one more question for you, and I want to get an answer from each of you individually, if that's cool. I just want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
You want to go first, Anthony?
Oh, that was the end of the question.
Yeah, do you have any advice for aspiring artists?
Yeah, I was like, oh wait, did he black out really quick? But yeah, man, for aspiring artists, you know, never let anyone tell you that you can't do it. Work your ass off, learn everything that you possibly can. You know, if you are stuck in a position where you can't get your music back right away, or you can't film your own music videos, or you can't make your own artwork, like hold yourself accountable to learning things like that, so you can do it yourself. No one's ever gonna just hand everything to you. You have to work hard and just keep working hard, you know, and listen to your favorite bands and be nice to people.
I love it.
Yeah. I love that too. That was well said, man.
Thank you.
For me, advice to an aspiring artist, just wake up, sleep. Like, everything you do needs to be about what you want to do. So like, if you want to make it as, you know, a musician, as a guitarist, as a producer, whatever, you got to work at it every day, and you got to make connections in the industry as well. You know, so many things happen when a friend knows a friend of a friend of a friend, and, you know, people talk and network, and, you know, as long as you're a cool person to be around, you know, opportunities will land in your, you know, in your spot. So just stay on the grind. And like Anthony said too, you can do a lot of things yourself. You know, YouTube will teach you so many things. I've learned how to mix and play guitar, everything, all from the internet. So just keep going, even when it gets tough. It's always harder towards the top of the mountain. So keep going.
That's a fact.